morning guys, and welcome back to another vlog. So today I actually got up quite a bit earlier than I usually do because I really want to get into the rhythm of waking up at like a more normal time, and especially I want to be able to go to bed earlier. So I figured that probably the best way to do that is just to wake up early, no matter how tired I am, and then, that evening I'll be more tired, go to bed earlier, and then hopefully that will just set my whole rhythm right. But I have to tell you, last night was so hard for me. Like, it took such a long time for me to fall asleep, and then I was just getting so emotional about it. Like, I was so frustrated that I wasn't sleeping because in my mind I just kept thinking like, oh, you can't wake up early now, it's too late, like the window has passed because you wanted to sleep 2 hours ago and now you can't. And then like having those emotions of frustration literally just let in all the other emotions that come with COVID-19 and lockdown and having this isolation, and I was missing my family so much, and just like all built up, and it was just such a bad start to the night. And so, I really wanted to start this morning intentionally, and I actually started with like a 15-minute self-love meditation. I did one from Goodful, and I'll link it down below. It's really nice. But like even just like sitting there in meditation listening to the person speaking to me was like making me emotional. So it's like been such a wave the last few weeks. It's crazy. Like, I'll be sky high, super happy, and then just like crash. And so, I want to be more intuitive with my emotions, with my feelings, and take care of them a lot better. And so, lots of people say that meditation is like the best way to take care of yourself, and so I'm just jumping in on that, trying to meditate more, and honestly, it does feel so good afterwards. Like, I'm just a lot more calm, I'm a lot more relaxed, I just feel like more centered, and so, yeah. So that's like a mental health update for you guys. Also, if you didn't notice, I am now making coffee in the living room, and that is because the renovation to our kitchen has finally begun, and I'll show you guys what it looks like so far. So they literally came last week and tore everything up, and so now, I'm so happy that it's going. I'm so happy that it's finally going, but at the same time, it's like we don't get our new kitchen for another week and a half, and so that's like getting difficult, especially with me, because now like kind of the rest of our flat has become like a lot more cluttered and stuff. That's been something for me to try and like deal with, is that it kind of makes me more frustrated, and I don't know, I just don't like when things are like super untidy and dirty, and I just don't like that. So I'm really excited for that to progress. There's somebody coming to work on it in like half an hour, so yeah. The thing is like we have no idea what's actually happening to it. Like it's literally just our landlords like went and chose a kitchen. We have no idea what it looks like. We have no idea what the plan is. We don't even know like how much they're changing. Like the landlord, he like kind of commented to me that they're going to be taking out the flooring and replacing it, but then to my husband he said they're just doing the walls, and I'm just so confused. So it'll be like a big reveal for both you and me. So right now I'm probably just gonna try and like tidy up before this guy gets here, and yeah, try and do dishes in the bathroom sink, which is another challenge all in itself. Alright, so the guys working in our kitchen went home, and they kind of like I mean, we didn't really know what was going on in the first place. We thought they were going to do work today. They ended up actually deciding to do the work next week, and then the week after that, they're going to actually install the kitchen. So, you know, now we're kind of a little more in the loop, and they also said that they are replacing the floor. So, you know, that's cool. That's great. The floor is like really grimy. Like, we were scrubbing the grout. The grout had like a layer of black grime on it, and it's just like so disgusting. So I'm kind of glad that they're replacing it, although the floors themselves were really pretty. Just like the turquoise blue was really nice, but you know, happy to have something that's like clean, that we don't have to spend like 10 hours scrubbing. And now it's like midday, the rain has kicked in. This is like typical German winter, as I have known before. Lots of rain, lots of cloudy days. So, you know, to make me feel good, I am gonna make some bread. And I know I've made bread in other videos, and that was me trying to make this beautiful artisanal loaf. You know, for me that's just too hard. So I'm gonna stick with the regular bread that I usually make. I have made this many times before, and it is so good. This is like the best bread recipe, so I'll definitely link it below. It's by The Wooden Spoon. Definitely check it out. Also, the other recipes that this lady has are sublime. They are so good. Let's get into it. Pretty much the only thing that I'm doing different than I usually do is I'm gonna just use regular oat milk instead of like cow milk. That's not because of like me having a dairy restriction right now. I'm usually pretty flexible with that, with baking especially. But this is all that we have. I don't want to go to the store just to get another type of milk when this one might be fine. So, I mean, hopefully it turns out okay. I'm building up a reputation for myself that I'll follow a recipe, but I'll just like change something and just like hope it turns out. I usually have like a mixed turnout rate, so we'll see how this goes. I don't know if like the fat content of the milk makes a difference. And so that's what we're gonna see. But if it's just for like the moisture, then this will be just fine. The other nice thing about this recipe is that if you have a stand mixer, that's probably the best. In our stand mixer, you just like throw all the ingredients in, put it on the kneading setting for like 10 minutes, and then you have your dough. You rise it the once, and then you put it in the pans, and you rise it a second time, and then you bake it, and it's delicious. So let's start with that. First things first, I need to go get a cup of warm water. It says not hot, but just warm. And then you just put it into your mixing bowl. I'm gonna go do that now. Okay, so now on top of the water, you just sprinkle on 2 teaspoons of dry active yeast. Oh. Does anyone else love the smell of yeast? It kind of reminds me of Subway, which is really weird, but that's just like a really distinct smell that Subway has, is the yeast. But I love the smell of yeast, it's so good. So this is supposed to sit for now 5 minutes to dissolve and activate, so we'll see in a flash. Okay, so my yeast has activated, and while that was happening, I mixed together the wet ingredients in here. And so there is the milk that you had to warm up a bit, and then honey and some oil. Yeah, now you just combine everything and that's it. So first the wet mixture into the yeast mixture, I guess, and then you add 1 cup of oats, and you start with just 1 cup of flour. And then the last ingredient is just some salt. So now you just put this onto the machine, and after this mixture is incorporated, then you're adding another 4 cups of flour. So now the dough is done mixing. It looks, well, it looks like dough. It looks good. It smells really good. And now it just rises for like an hour and a half or something. So I'm gonna put it into a glass bowl and then cover it, and then yeah, I'll be back with you later. Okay, so the dough is now doubled in size, and so now we dump it out onto a floured surface and then put it into our bread pans. You have no idea how much it bothers me that these aren't the same size, because it's so hard to split this perfectly that there's the right amount in each one of them. Someday I will get a matching set. Okay, let's flour the surface. Okay, that's probably a lot of flour. Yeah, so you don't have to do anything else. You just split it. I need something to split it though. 1 second. Wow, look at this fancy tool. Okay, so, oh gosh, this is the worst part. I think there's about center. At least for like 2 different sizes. So this first one, I'm literally just gonna pick it up and put it in. I think I'll flip it over this way. That's literally it. This one needs a little bit more forming because it's such a weird, long shape. The dough is looking nice in their little beds, and now they have to rise for another hour. So we're gonna cover them and then come back. Okay, so now some time has passed, the bread is totally ready, and the last step before putting it in the oven is to brush some of the milk on top and then like sprinkle some oats, and the milk just like makes it stick. Okay, so these are all finished now. I'm just gonna run them downstairs. There's like a random oven in the basement of our building, and so that's what we're using right now. So I will show you these when they're finished. Alright, so I pulled the bread out of the oven. It's perfect. It rose perfectly. It's nice and browned on top. I did forget one thing, and that was that you have the oven on like 425 Fahrenheit, and then you have to lower the temperature when you like first put the bread in. I forgot to do that, but I don't think that'll be such a big deal. I'm gonna wait for it to like cool completely before cutting into it, and so I think it should be fine. I have made that mistake other times as well. So this is what it looks like. This one's so cute and little. Perfect. So this is the bread that I usually bake whenever I bake bread. It's a really good recipe, so I will link it down below. And yeah, I think this vlog is starting to get long, so I'm gonna end it here. And this kind of developed into like a self-care kind of day, you know, starting with meditation, baking some bread. You know, I think this evening I'm gonna do like a virtual workout with my sister. She lives in Canada, obviously. So just like doing things that are like good for me, not necessarily self-care in the way of like splurging and indulging myself, but actually doing things that are benefiting me. So that's what I like to do for self-care. So if you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye!